Hi, and welcome back to Wicked Wands Tarot. My name is Carmen. Today we've got a reading for you about somebody who has a pretty major decision with the Lovers card. This can be a reference to soulmates, but it can also talk about a major decision in somebody's life. And that decision with a double eight or two eights, the Eight of Cups and the Eight of Wands. I need to decide, am I going to walk away or am I going to say something? For some of you, perhaps this is more so about taking action, but I think that action is likely to be, okay, is it time for me to finally speak up and be the one to bring this up or to initiate, especially if your situation currently is no contact? Trying to make sure I don't light those cards on fire. All right, anyways, let's call in spirit with a little bit of Winchanta. I hope you're having a wonderful day so far. If you would like a personal reading, my email address is in the description box below. And hello, Vichitata. Hello, Holy Yoga. How are we doing today? I hope everyone is doing well. Let's see. What do we want to start with? We're going to start with the Golden Art Nouveau. What else do we have? That's a pretty clear, decisive Two Cups in the reverse with a breakup, distance, and Ace of Cups in the upright. Do I want to make an offer in love or do I want to be done? Do I want to walk away? This is a pretty big decision for someone because I do feel like there is strong emotions here and not just on one side. So I don't believe this is an unrequited love story. I believe this is just like it's complicated, right? You love one another, but there are things or people that get in the way. Queen of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Four of Swords in the reverse. It looks like there could be some concerns around money. Someone is wanting to address the pitfalls or the troubles that they've been experiencing as far as paying bills or the debt they may have, or can I sell my house? Can I afford to move? Whatever this may be, it's about having something of substance to give, having that financial or perhaps job security, thinking about what do I have to offer? I'm doing well. I hope your day gets better. Emperor and the Two of Wands in the reverse. I know I've taken the wrong path or, got a little distracted. I probably should have made some changes earlier on, or I've, maybe been influenced by people that I shouldn't have let influence me. But this has made me stronger because I learned lessons from those situations. This is like, okay, well, it's not been perfect, but I'm working on it, right? Hello, Laura. How are you doing? Magician in the reverse. Lovers in the reverse. Eight of Swords in the reverse. I feel like I would be able to make a choice and feel good about that decision that I made if I address the things that make me feel like I can't make this love offer. So if I need to have a more reliable job, or if I need to have somebody that, has been a negative influence kind of dealt with and not creating instability, whether that's drama or financial, they're thinking about the things that they have control over that have prevented them from pursuing the life that they want. Maybe it's less about what happens to me and more about how I react. Maybe I could make some changes and be in a better situation financially. And that would embolden me to go for, I think this is a romantic connection that they want. King of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles and the Hierophant. Yeah, I'm saving money. I'm working on my bag because I want to be able to actually offer something. If I don't have a place, if I can't like move in with you, or I don't feel like I can cover my bills, then I'm not ready for a relationship. But once I get to that point where, maybe I start saving money or I'm not spending frivolously, then I feel more confident. I could communicate and say, hey, I'd really like to talk to you and see you, and maybe we can talk about being in a relationship. This is what can I do to be in a better spot so that when I have a serious conversation about romance, that finance element of my life, it isn't a block anymore. This is the character oracle. What else do we have? What else? We have the Boss card. Master of Wealth, Risk, Investment, Management, and Leader. And Creator, Weaver of Imagination, Creativity, Innovation, Invention, and Realization. This is really beautiful to contrast that Magician in the reverse that we had. This is somebody who knows that, if they're activated, if they feel comfortable, if they have, the things like the basics covered, then they're real capable. They might be super creative. They might be entrepreneurial. They might be, quite adept at pivoting or like reframing their career. I feel this is somebody who has bounced back from multiple like difficult times, right? I lost money here, but then I did this. I had like a little bit of a step back here, but I changed and started doing this. So just a little reminder, if you're resonating with this Magician in the reverse who has a choice, you've already established that you're a boss. You've already established that you're able to bounce back from difficult times. You just need to remember, that you're capable of that. Hello, Jim. How are you doing? What else? Oh. Singer and Captain. Resonance, moving hearts, harmony, emotion, and performance. And for Captain, it says navigator of destiny, voyage, leadership, decision-making, and objective. The difference in energy for this Magician in the reverse is I can, communicate in a way or use my words in a way to get people to act or to feel. People like how I speak to them or they believe me when I speak to them. But it's not enough in this situation to have the words, right? It's not enough to be able to wax poetic. What I need to do is take action and have like more control over my own situation so that I can actually pursue a relationship. I'm like uber paranoid that I'm going to hit this table again. All right, this is the Cats Rule the Earth. I'm not used to having a back on my chair, but we're getting there. What else do we have? Five of Cups in the reverse. The Magician in the reverse. I don't want to assume that I can't do anything about this situation. I've got to at least try because I don't want to be so focused on what's gone wrong that I don't have the ability to face what I could, actually change. So we have someone acknowledging, I am the magician in the reverse. I'm capable, but I have kind of looked the other way on some things that I could have addressed. The moon. I don't know if you noticed, but I put up, well, the moon behind me. And the King of Cups in the reverse. Yeah, this is somebody who is acknowledging that if they listen to their intuition, if they follow their gut, their heart, then they're able to achieve what it is that they wanted to. They maybe got a little bit caught up in how they felt or in a little bit of insecurity. And that had prevented them previously from tackling the problems that they felt were barriers to a relationship with the person that they love. Chariot, but now they have direction. They know what they need to do. They have motivation. They're working. They may be working extra hours or working 2 jobs. This is, I think, their priority. So if they have had, in the past, if they've been quite social, that's no longer how they're operating. This is more about, how can I quickly save up enough money? How can I get into a better spot? I don't want to be spending money on, partying or going on dates or anything frivolous. Two of Cups in the reverse. Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. 10 of Pentacles. Now that I have had this emotional distance or, really thought about what it would be like if I lost the chance with you or if things were really over between us, the loss has really hit me. They're not really able to just dismiss this as, like life happens or, someone else will come along. This is more so, this person's really important to me. I really respect them or I value them in my life. And what happened between the two of us feels like a pretty heavy loss. Feels like it happened because I didn't want to admit that there was something I could do to make things better. Queen of Wands in the reverse. 5 of Swords. Knight of Cups and the Star in the reverse. So because I talked myself out of doing anything because it just seemed like too much work, or I don't know if I'd be able to actually do what I need to do. Their insecurity or their, maybe even procrastination, feeling like they couldn't really do anything or feeling unlucky was actually just, a lot of it was in their head. They self-sabotaged and now they worry that they may not be able to bring back the chemistry or the interest that they knew you once had. They don't know for sure if you still have it. All right. Let's see what else we've got. This is the signs of the times. What else do we have? Flamingo, fun, number 2. Dice, chance, number 19. I know that it's a lot of work. I know that I may not necessarily achieve what I wanted to. Hello, Kingly Eagle. How are you doing? But because this person is worth it to me, 10 of Pentacles, and because, I don't know, you have some real fun memories, or they feel like if they won like a free vacation to, name a place, if they could take anybody, they would take you. Like, obviously, we'd have the best conversations. We'd have the most fun. You wouldn't be, lame. They really enjoy spending time with you. but they've let things get in the way, specifically finances. What else do we have? Evil eye protection, number 1, and power lines energy, number 36. There's energy that has been sent towards the magician in the reverse that made them feel like they couldn't right the wrongs or get back on the right course, rid themselves of the negative energy or the self-doubting energy. But as they work a little at a time towards this goal, they are starting to realize that they got in their own head way more than they should have, that they have quite a lot of reason to believe in themselves. And for some of you, this magician in the reverse, whether that's you or your person, they're starting to realize this is negative energy. This isn't how I feel about myself. This is what somebody else has sent my way. Hello, Aqua Beauty. How's it going? This is the Pulp Tarot. What else do we have? Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, Knight of Cups, and the Empress. I don't feel like I have a lot of time. I need to be quick with it. And I need to make sure that I have a life that's more grounded or more stability, because I'm eyeing how I could make the best possible offer to somebody I view as an empress, a person that is fine on their own. Remember, the empress or any gender up here, this doesn't have to be the actual gender of the person that we're reading. This is energy. This is the person they want to communicate to. So I know the easier thing would be to just walk away and assume that things aren't going to go the way I want them to, but it's too uncomfortable thinking about losing you. I should actually try. I'm going to do what I can to address the money thing so that I'm able to make this offer, right? Knight of Cups has come out twice in the last 6 cards. Wow, that's awesome. Hello, Rala. How are you doing today? 2 of Swords, Chariot in the reverse, and the 3 of Swords in the reverse. I knew I needed to make a decision back then, but I didn't really know how to tackle all the things that I needed to tackle. I didn't know how to adjust my job situation. I didn't know whether or not I could get out of this lease or, find a more affordable car option. There's an effort here to really look at the budget, to really look at what they're able to address instead of just viewing it as a mountain of troubles that, they really don't know where to begin. 10 of Wands, 2 Cups in the reverse again. I'm good, thank you. And the Hanged Man. It's a lot of work, but it's worse thinking about letting this person be the one that got away. And with the Hanged Man, they're hoping that they can change how this Empress views them, because they know in the past they have, been a little bit slow to respond, or a little bit, oh, I don't know why that happened to me, and blaming circumstances instead of things that they could have done differently. Hello, Matt. How are you doing? 9 of Swords, Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Knight of Swords. Queen of Swords in the reverse. I've been anxious or uncomfortable, not really feeling like, I have much to offer because, I've been dealing with being codependent, or I've struggled in terms of feeling like I have the money that I need in order to pay the bills. And I knew that I needed to deal with this before I could, mosey on over and tell you that you look cute. But as soon as I am able to, and now that I feel a little bit more comfortable actually like working on these things, I'm going to deal with them instead of previously just kind of lying to myself and saying it wasn't ever going to happen because it was too much that I had to deal with. Now they're saying, I think I can do it. This is the Voyage of the Soul. Hello, Matt. Hello, Felicia. How are you doing? Thank you. Pathway, choices, told you. Alternatives, horizon, new, forward, and direction. Remember, we've had the Chariot come out a few times. I think once in the upright, once in the reverse. Yeah, right here. Can I do this? I don't know. I think so. But, I've got to be able to persevere even when there might be little deviations or little variations, setbacks that I didn't encounter or expect. But they're actually relying on their intuition. So if they don't have reception and GPS isn't available, they go off their gut. So we have karma, cycles, fortune, destiny, and divine intervention, and dimensions, portals, astral travel, otherworldly, unseen, and metaphysical. There are new worlds opening up to this person. I heard Aladdin in my head because they have addressed a lot of the things that they viewed as other people's fault, or, I can't really do anything about that. They've got people rooting for them. The universe is trying to encourage them. So it's like they're starting to see, okay, so there's other ways to achieve what I wanted to, or things aren't as difficult as I made them out to be. I'm more capable than I gave myself credit for back when, I decided I couldn't do this. Now I feel like I can. This is the Path of Shadows. Perfectionism. In the pursuit of perfection, night after night, I've gifted myself 1,000 flaws. So they're a little too focused on the details, maybe even kind of to the point where they're like, can I avoid having to do some of this work, or can I feel better about my situation if I make it feel like it's not ready yet, or I have to do more? Avoidance, I think, is an important word. And then we have Raven, knowledge, death, and energies. Either the connection with this person ends, or I find a way to address the things that have made me feel not good enough to make an offer. And this is somebody who's smart. It's been more about the taking action, right? Following through on a plan. Abandoned carnival. What once was vibrant remains now silenced and still. This place held laughter, even if now no one could believe. I used to be happy where I was, or I used to feel like things were fine on that medium vibration. But now I want to be high vibration. Now I want to work on the things that I know I should have a while back. That abandoned carnival seems to be tied to the Three of Cups in the reverse. I don't know if I really want to spend a lot of time with friends right now. I'm working on myself, or I'm dealing with the things that I need to in order to pursue somebody romantically. I get that. Chained. Codependency, unhealthy attachment, weighed down. Codependency would be the word, of course, that sticks out for me. But this could also be about somebody who just felt like they really didn't have the energy. It's not even just that I have to identify what needs to change. It's not even then that I need to figure out what I can do about it, but then I have to take action, right? It's just, it seemed like so much. And now they're realizing that because they've let this go so long, because they have made some of the choices that they have in order to avoid this work, now they're wondering, okay, so is this going to have a negative impact on this person that I really do feel things are moving in the right direction, or things could go really well? We have chemistry, intense passion, and things are heating up. Karmics, third parties, haters, and lesson learned. Detective, snooping, digging for dirt, and accusations. Definitely feel like there are friends, family members, or maybe even exes that could be causing some issues, maybe even contributing to this person's lack of confidence, or, telling them there's no way you could make that relationship work, or you're just a non-committal person. They're starting to question the people around them and the ways that they viewed connections. They do have some concerns in terms of the people around them. There could be some not so honorable work or ways of getting money that they might be trying to, remove from their own life. Hello, James. Hello, Key Controller. How we doing? Frenemy, fake friends, two-faced, hidden intentions. And playa, playing the field, not looking to settle, seeking options. So remember, this is a general reading. Not everything will resonate for you, but I do feel like part of what is motivating them to make this change is they realize that what they have been dealing with or accepting in terms of social connections, or just like day-to-day life, has been looking the other way with regards to people that they can't trust. And I do feel specifically for many of you that this is questioning a friendship with somebody who may have in the past, or over, maybe multiple situations, tried to hit up the exes or former flames. There's no boys code or girls code here. And I do think it's worn down or eroded the friendship or the trust, because there's just this focus on being kind of surface level that I don't think this King of Pentacles Magician in the reverse is really looking to maintain or allow. All right, this is the Love Oracle. Thank you. That just means they're clearing out so some real folks can come around. All right, what else do we have? Rejection, abandoned, dismissed, irrational fear, broken, shattered, heartbroken, and destroyed. I've had my heart broken before, and therefore I wasn't really extra motivated to clean up the things in my life that I knew I needed to in order to be able to approach someone in a serious romantic way. So having dealt somewhat with the abandoned feelings that I had, there was still some irrational fears or some insecurities hanging around in my head from this heartbreak. So they're really looking within, right? The introspection is something they maybe didn't prioritize before, but now that's something that they're getting more and more comfortable with. Hello, Drew. How are you doing? Thank you. Aw, you're so sweet. We've got spying, social network, tripping. Sorry, I wrote it upside down, which is a bad idea. Ways, information. So trying to get information about whether or not this person's coming back around to you. There could be some paranoia that this magician in the reverse has in terms of trying to keep things secret because there's someone or a few people that if they knew they were working on their life, they knew that this person is, working on trying to make a serious love offer to you, there would be some angry or frustrated or not great consequences. For some of you, this person, this magician in the reverse, is pursuing you even though you had previously dated one of their friends or vice versa. They may be seen as somebody who should not be pursuing you. Hoping, expecting, faith, and manifesting. So even though there's distance between the two of you right now, this Two of Cups in the reverse obviously being, a breakup or emotional distance, there is still hope, faith that there is some way to deal with this confusion. There is some way to clear things up, get on the same page, and, have a little bit of a plan. Heart fog. Mixed signals, blocked emotions, messed up. I'm sorry for sending mixed signals. You may feel like one minute they're saying, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And the next they're like, man, I don't know. That sounds kind of crazy, don't you think? Because it's a change and it takes time. And sometimes you doubt yourself when you're going through that change, right? Yeah. So we have healing, releasing. They're letting go of that old life or that old way of thinking, purifying and cleansing. I know there are people that have made me feel like I can't address the things in my life that make it difficult for me to be in a happy, committed relationship or feel independent on my own. But I'm letting go of those things or I'm addressing those things because I don't want it to be confusing anymore. I don't want to just hope that somehow, someday we'll figure this out. I want to actually tackle the healing that is, necessary for me to come back around. This is the Wild Reflections. Hello, Hayden. How are you doing? Two of Pentacles in the reverse. Temperance in the reverse. Hermit in the reverse. I know I did some things I shouldn't have. I know I made things worse than, if I had been slowly addressing things along the way. If you take 30 minutes every day and you clean a little bit, if you're the type to always unpack your suitcase right away or always put your laundry right, little things that you do in small, bursts, make it so that it's less work. But this person left all the cleaning for an entire month on the same day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, I wish that I had been working a little bit at a time. Now I feel like there's so much that I have to do right now. So a little bit of regret, but I don't know that they're going to let that cause too much grief here because they don't want to continue to feel like they're running behind or like they may lose what they want. Ten of Swords, Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Knight of Cups, Six of Pentacles in the reverse. So there's a chance that this could be the end, that maybe the Empress is feeling like there's no desire to fix what has prevented them from being together. And there could be energetically a little picking up by the other person, our magician in the reverse, that this daydream or this belief that things will work out in the end may be kind of slipping away for the Empress. So they're looking at this as a call to action. I have to be strategic. I need to like move quickly. I can't just sit here and procrastinate anymore. Otherwise, I may legitimately lose this person. Six of Pentacles in the reverse could also imply I'm not going to be distracted. I'm not going to try to, write a book and, find a different job. This is, I've got to be like focused and not give to too many things or get distracted by too many other people. Hello, Illuminati. How are you doing? We've got the Six of Wands, the World, and the Ten of Cups. I know I'm capable of starting a new direction, a new chapter in my life. I know that it requires some healing, some letting go of some not so great influences, but they're doing it. The world is the end of one chapter, the beginning of a new chapter, and it's because they are inspired by this person that they're in love with. They want to have this Ten of Cups, this happy domestic bliss, let's live together kind of thing. Justice in the reverse and Nine of Wands. But I know I need to act quickly because I've left you waiting. You're over here wondering if things are already done. You're wondering if you should actually do anything to try to salvage this connection because you don't know if I'm going to do anything. They do feel like if they're going to decide to pursue you, they have to communicate it because it could be a little bit confusing or you may be a little bit unsure of what their intentions are. This is the Hidden Truth. What else do we have? Yeah, I feel that. I like the green paint better too. But change is good. I can't do this. You broke my heart. You let me down. This, I feel, is the Empress energy. But I miss seeing you. Let's see what our Magician in the reverse is feeling. I lost myself for a little while, but I can't stop thinking about you. The love they have is inspiring them to get strategic, to get moving, to stop dilly-dallying. I hid who I really am for you or from you. They didn't want to admit some of those insecurities. They wanted to focus on the things they felt good about because maybe they knew that those things they didn't really like about themselves could be problematic. Finding out the truth crushed me. I want to feel that way again. Yeah, there's concern. I don't know if there's change happening in your life. If, maybe you got back on a dating app. Maybe they saw you out with somebody. But there's a concern here. There's a timeline. If I don't work quickly, then I lose this person. So they don't feel like they have a lot of opportunity to just kind of like do whatever they want. This is the Earth and Bone Oracle. What else do we have? Well, of course. Number 24, beloved. Love, relationships, reciprocity, union, and intertwinement. 26, the key, inner calling, clarity, resolve, intention, and objective. I do feel like resolve is the most important on that last card. I know that what I need to do and what I've maybe not been the best at up to this point is choosing a plan, choosing a path, focusing on that goal, and then like actually like prioritizing it. And since I'm so in love with this person, since I really do feel like I could have a long-term relationship with them, you're worth it. They're saying, okay, I'm gonna roll up my sleeves. I'm gonna, figure out what I need to do. You know, maybe hit up Lowe's or Home Depot, make sure I got the right tools. They're determined. They're not gonna let it just kind of like sit there anymore. Number 30, prudence, self-assurance, honesty, integrity, perceptiveness, and clear-mindedness. That heart fog was the previous circumstances, and now they're realizing, I know what to do. I know what I want. I'm not going to ignore it anymore. I'm not going to bury my head in the sand. Burrow, exhaustion, lack of energy, questioning, motivations, and realignment. So I'm done believing that I'm incapable. Hello, Peggy. How are you doing? Oh, thank you. So that's number 25, if I didn't mention that. I could sit around and do nothing, but then I think back on this moment and regret that I made that choice. So maybe what I should really do is work on things and get to a place where I feel more independent or capable of making a love offer. All right, I'm going to leave it there. I love you all. Thank you for the likes and the subscribes. I sure do appreciate you. I hope to see you on the next reading. Toodles.